Rivalries can make for some great tension, character interaction, and development. But what is a rivalry without, well, a rival? Video games have given us some fantastic rivalries, and we're here to see which rivals can stand above the rest.
We'll be looking at rival characters who conflict against the protagonist/player character of a game, and we are defining them based on the following. How do these characters contrast with the protagonist? What are their goals, and the motivations behind those goals towards besting them? What actions do these characters take to surpass them? And how do they fare with them in terms of skill? With this in mind, our placement will be based on how well these characters stand out to us as rival characters.
We'd also like to mention that, in the context of this list, a rival character isn't necessarily the same as an antagonist. Just want to point that out. And of course, one per franchise, and only from games we've played. But this does include the games that only one of us has played. Now, we talked long enough here. We're on a very strict time limit, and we'll be erased if we don't get this done, so... Let's begin! Let's begin the list with a dogfight.
An airplane battle or an actual fight with dogs?
Both.
Both? How can it be both? Oh.
Wolf O'Donnell is the ever-present leader of the Star Wolf Mercenary Squadron and rival to Fox McCloud. Ordered by Andros, the original intent of Star Wolf was to stop Star Fox in their endeavors against the mad scientist. Wolf agreed to form the team and lead it in hopes of seeing Fox fail, proving that he is better than him. And yet, as skilled of a pilot as he is, Fox beats Wolf at every turn, but Wolf remains determined to see Fox defeated at his own hands.
In comparing him to Fox, Wolf is a very good foil to him. Fox is a bringer of justice and peace, while Wolf is a criminal, having been a leader of space pirates, again, not those space pirates, prior to forming Star Wolf. And during his tenure with Star Wolf, he's committed crimes like larceny and smuggling.
So, he pilots a ship, commits smuggling and larceny crimes. All he really needs is an eye patch. Oh look, he's got a...
Well, despite being Fox's opposite, Wolf does harbor respect for him, going so far as to help him at times. He even offered him some advice during the Aperoid invasion, advice that ultimately proved useful in the end.
But as for why Wolf has such a grudge against Fox in the first place, it's never really explained or expanded upon. All that really happens in this rivalry is that the two duke it out when they cross paths. Fox wins, Wolf swears revenge, rinse and repeat. Really, this is just one big flexing contest. Well, whenever this rivalry decides to take it further, Wolf will make one thing clear to Fox when they meet in battle.
I'm the one who's gonna take you down.
A lot of rivalries seen in media are those involving a doppelganger, and here's the first of many on this list, the Black Knight.
Sean, I don't think Monty Python is a video game you might wanna...
No, not that Black Knight.
Oh, you mean the one from Fire Emblem? Well, I don't even think he's...
No, this Black Knight.
Oh, that Black Knight, I've still never heard of him.
He's from Shovel Knight. Allow me to explain. According to the game's manual, which Yacht Club took the time to write, so we're counting it, Shovel Knight has no idea why this obsidian armor-clad double even exists. But one thing is certain, Black Knight is out there, hunting him down, so he can prove that he is a better wielder of the shovel blade than Shovel Knight.
So he doesn't know why Black Knight even exists? Talk about being caught in someone else's shadow.
Actually, that's kind of the case. Shovel Knight always bests him in every fight they have, but no matter how many defeats he suffers, Black Knight will rise back up to fight again another day. And when he does, he's seen using new techniques each time, showing that he's improving his arsenal.
Ah, I see. He's persistent, always improving his craft, and getting stronger in each battle.
Exactly. Sure, the moves he used in the final battle with him were a result of the Enchantress's power, but it's still something he gained over Shovel Knight, forcing Shovel Knight to adapt to his attacks. Speaking of the Enchantress, Black Knight's other goal in the game is to protect the Enchantress, despite the fact that he refuses to pledge allegiance to her. The reason he wants to protect her is because the Enchantress is Shield Knight. Considering Shovel Knight and Shield Knight were inseparable before the Tower of Fate incident, as well as what is seen in the ending, it's possible Black Knight is jealous that they are so close.
Alright, maybe this would be a good reason to get Shovel Knight. Right after I finish Hotline Miami 2, Castle Crashers...
Long story short, Black Knight's persistence and determination to defeat Shovel Knight makes him a great rival, earning him the number 9 spot on this list.
Lethal League, Terraria, Helldivers, Sonic CD, Battle Block Theater... Final Fantasy VII.
Next number!
Wolf and Black Knight may be good rivals, but they don't turn the concept of the hero character quite on its head like Wario can. When comparing him to Mario, Wario is greedy, lazy, and much cruder than Mario's selfless and heroic nature. He's essentially Mario turned upside down!
Ha!
I think you mean... Wham! Moving on to abilities, unlike other rivalries, Wario's abilities are actually much different from Mario's. While Mario is very athletic and a master jumper, Wario is awfully slow, mostly due to how lazy and fat he is. To make up for this, he has incredible strength that surpasses Mario, going so far as to crush blocks that not even Mario can break, chucking enemies with ease, and shoulder tackling everything.
Another point in favor of Wario is his motivation for wanting to best Mario. Basically, he got jealous of Mario for his fame and popularity. So what does he do in response? He decides to steal Mario's castle and succeeds, only to be easily thwarted by Mario. Victory is short-lived. But that doesn't stop Wario from continuing to try again. Wario takes every chance he can get to compete against Mario, as seen in the numerous sports games, Mario Kart, Mario Party, and if you want to count it, Super Smash Bros.
A notable occurrence of sports chicanery is where in Mario Power Tennis both he and Waluigi got so fed up with losing to the Mario brothers in that tournament that they agreed to help Bowser sabotage the whole tournament just to get back at the brothers, resulting in the entire Peach Dome being blown up.
So you're telling me that he would go so far as to steal a castle and blow up a stadium just to get back at one guy because he's more popular than him? Kids, jealousy is a bad thing. Don't let it consume you, or else you become Wario. And no one wants to be Wario.
It just wouldn't be a video involving Chaos Key without bringing up his Smash 4 main. It may as well be a meme at this point.
So I've heard before on Twitter. So anyway, Dark Pit.
You want a textbook definition of even footing? Well, here's a character that is a jack of all trades of a jack of all trades. Dark Pit's abilities are the exact same as the original Pit in every aspect. Same combat skills, same experience with weapons, same inability to fly on his own. Okay, sure, he had the infinite power of flight, but he lost it, so it's just the same. He is a literal clone.
A literal clone, you say? Well, I wouldn't go that far, because his character is very much different from Pit. Not only is his personality a 180 of the original Pit, but he's also the manifestation of the original Pit's dark side, and the true feelings that Pit keeps to himself. Because of this, Dark Pit believed that he was the original Pit, and considered the real Pit a copy. It is this very belief that fuels his one desire, to take Pit down.
That's exactly what a clone is, Sean. You just can't accept that Dark Pit will always be a clone character that no one wanted in Smash 4.
But the potential for uniqueness!
Anyways, an aspect of Dark Pit that we find unique is that he's unaffiliated with all the other factions. Because of this, you never knew what he was going to do next. All you knew was that, whatever he did, it was all part of his agenda to defeat Pit. He'll only side with a faction if it's for a cause that affects him, or if it means he can fight Pit again. But these team-ups are usually only temporary. That is until Hades was defeated and Dark Pit chose to work for Viridi, if only because the two shared a common goal.
With an unpredictable agenda for accomplishing his goal, and his abilities that are on par with his double make Dark Pit a formidable rival for our airheaded flightless hero. And that is why Dark Pit deserved to be in Smash and why his inclusion in Smash 4 is justified.
His placement in Smash 4 is about as justified as the box cover Mega Man being in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Now shut your mouth and know your place in the pecking order. Nothing like a good rivalry among two friends.
Yeah, too bad one of those friends was so eager to leave his homeworld that he screws it over. Riku from Kingdom Hearts, everybody.
As best friends, Riku and Sora shared a competitive rivalry between one another, mostly to see who the stronger one was. It was all in good fun and spirit. That is until Riku opened the door to the secret place in hopes of finding new worlds. Just couldn't sit still for 1 second, could ya? After he's enveloped in darkness, a bright light shines before Sora, granting him the Keyblade, sparking one of the most confusing series of games outside of Metal Gear.
As the story of the first game progressed, Riku becomes increasingly jealous of Sora upon seeing him with Donald and Goofy and learning that he wields the Keyblade. he begins to feel like Sora left him behind and in the dust. This causes him to side with Maleficent and walk a path of darkness, and unlike Wario's jealousy to Mario, Riku's jealousy almost screws the world over just like what he did to his own home world.
So Riku then challenges Sora, saying that his heart is stronger. He even managed to take Sora's Keyblade since Riku was the original chosen wielder. Because, story. But since Riku's heart became weaker due to darkness, the Keyblade acknowledged Sora as the true wielder. Wanting to best Sora, he allows Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness, to possess him. Let's see how this plays out for him.
Who are you?
Ansem. You won't use me for this!
Darkness.
Darkness. Darkness. Darkness. Darkness. Darkness.
Kingdom Hearts is
Light! Light!
I can't.
Together we can do it. Take care of her. Where am I?
Stay asleep.
Strongest kid on Destiny Islands?
Yeah, right!
Though, despite Sora beating him a number of times in the original Kingdom Hearts, both he and Riku later down the line confess that they think Riku is the best of the two. Heck, Riku managed to best Sora in their Mark of Mastery exam. Well done, Riku. You actually managed to best Sora in something on screen.
But the real question is Sora the top in this relationship, or is Riku more of a power bottom?
You're sick. Hey look, a third character from my top 10 battles of equals in video games. Go figure. Jetstream Sam as a rival character is an interesting case. While Raiden formed a grudge against him after their first confrontation, Sam's side of the rivalry stems from their conflicting ideals. Before joining Desperado, Sam garnered his own sense of justice, seeking out conflicts and dealing with criminality to advocate this ideal. But when he encountered Armstrong and lost because
The means.
Sam realized that corruption like this can't easily be defeated one piece at a time. This challenged and eventually distorts Sam's ideals, causing him to believe ideals have no place on the battlefield. The ones who are right are the ones who win.
And then he meets Raiden, whose ideals of justice reminded Sam of the ideals he once possessed, sparking the rivalry between the two. Since their first encounter, Sam yearned to fight Raiden again, but only once Raiden has reached a peak level. Because of their conflicting ideals, Sam at times would mock Raiden's sense of justice, like what he did with that speech about cyborgs being forced to fight. But Raiden's sense of justice still managed to cause Sam to question his involvement with the opposition and wonder if any of this was right. In the end, as the two clashed one final time, Sam let history decide who was truly right.
In their first encounter, Sam pretty much wrecked Raiden to a bloody pulp. But once they clashed in the Badlands of Colorado one last time, their skills were pretty evenly matched. The only advantage Sam had was his sword, which is statistically better than Raiden's. In fact, Sam had barely any cyborg enhancements at all during the fight, as if he wanted this to be a fair battle. Ultimately, Raiden was the last man standing, and Sam passed on. Vaya con Dios, Jetstream Sam. So, you've been thwarted time and time again by your nemesis, huh? Well, if you can't beat him, copy him.
And that's exactly what Dr. Wily did when he made Bass. Bass was created to mimic Mega Man's design and abilities in an attempt to surpass him. The end result is a badly tempered, cocky robot with one simple goal: to prove to everyone that he's the strongest robot in existence.
Great, that's awesome. But there's just one tiny problem standing in Bass's way.
Mega Man.
Mega what?
Your meme is dead and you should feel dead.
But I'm not dead, am I? Anyway, in every confrontation they've had, Mega Man always prevailed over Bass. This fuels his motive even more, not resting until he's defeated the Blue Bomber. Heck, he won't even let others defeat Mega Man for him, he's that dedicated.
What I like about Bass, and what really makes him interesting, is his goal. Sure, he wants nothing more to do than best Mega Man, but his goal doesn't necessarily end with Mega Man. To Bass, everyone around him are just junk bots, including the Robot Masters, who, to him, are just obstacles in the way of his goal. He can't just stand there while someone else is better than him, and Mega Man is the biggest obstacle to his goal. Bass will do anything to make sure Mega Man stays clear of the first place spot that he so desperately tries to achieve.
Like beating Mega Man to the punch by defeating some evil robot named King before Mega Man can. See, this robot, King, declared himself the strongest robot in the world. You can probably guess that Bass doesn't take this very well and proceeds to fight King to prove him wrong. But then Bass learns that Wily created King to test Bass's abilities and create the most powerful robot in the world. Bass defeats King, so mission accomplished?
But despite Bass's accomplishments, Proto Man tells him that he'll never defeat Mega Man because he has nothing to fight for, but Base believes he doesn't need any of that to fight. He'll continue to fight in hopes of defeating Mega Man once and for all. Rivalries in video games involving a clone versus the original usually sees the clone as the one that possesses the bigger resentment. Rarely do we see this the other way around, which leads us to Asch the Bloody.
The main character Luke von Fabra is but a replica of the original Luke, known as Asch, created when Van kidnapped the real Luke at a young age. The replica Luke then took over the life of royalty that the original once had. Yeah, Asch really detests Luke for this, and develops a hatred for replicas because of this incident. And who could really blame him? He went from being royalty to a mere nobody. That's tragic. He then becomes Van's servant, but then he learns of Van's true intentions of destroying the world and replacing it with replicas. So, he becomes a loner double agent to thwart Van's scheme from the inside.
So, Asch and Luke are essentially on the same side, right? Well, yes, but the two tend to butt heads when they confront each other. Asch sees Luke as the inferior, tends to call him names that reflect this, and is not afraid to get rough and engage him in a sword fight. Though this rivalry is less about one trying to be better than the other, and more about the two proving who they are to each other.
Which brings us to their final battle to determine just that. The winner going on to face Van and free Lorelei, and the loser left to face Van's troops. Both Asch and Luke fight in the exact same style, so they are practically evenly matched. The only difference being Asch knowing some powerful arts and fighting with his right hand instead of his left like Luke does.
But in the end, it's the replica that triumphs over the original. Asch is best described as a tragic rival. He lost everything and has resented his replica for it. He refuses to see the world share the same fate as he did, and he ultimately sacrifices himself to allow Luke to fight on. He's a trooper and a great rival to the very end.
It wouldn't be a video about rivals without bringing up Pokémon. I mean, come on, you knew one of the Pokémon rivals was going to be on this list at some point. This series has had many rival characters over the years, but how many of those characters could say they've been rivals with the protagonist since they were freaking babies?
Yeah, we know this seems like a predictable choice, but can you really blame us? Blue's goal is to become the very best like no one ever was, before Red can. He chooses the starter Pokemon that has the type advantage over whatever Red chooses, probably on purpose, and he's always one step ahead of Red throughout the entire story of Pokemon Red and Blue. Every gym Red goes to, Blue has already beaten it. Even when Red takes on the Pokemon League, Blue has already fought the Elite Four and become the champion under his nose.
And Blue proves to be a formidable opponent, having a team that becomes more balanced as the story goes on, especially in the final battle with him. This forces the player to plan accordingly to counter his team. And that's the thing with this rivalry. Even though Blue is always one step ahead, he loses to Red every time they battle each other. It's revealed in their final battle that it's Red's care and trust towards his Pokemon that nets him victory, compared to Blue, who lacked these traits and was kind of a big jerk throughout the game.
Yes, the series has received some great rivals in later games, Silver and Hue just to name a few, but we feel that Blue stands tall amongst all of them. He's persistent, determined, and challenging on the battlefield. He is what sticks into the back of your mind when you're playing Red, Blue, and Yellow. You may not be the champion anymore, Blue, but you left a mark on us. Smell you later. So, our top tier rival character is from a Sonic game.
A Sonic game, huh? Well, it's obvious who our number one is.
It's not Shadow.
But wait, really? But, I mean, it's Shadow. How could it not be Shadow?
Simple. There's someone else that's better as a rival.
Well, if it's not Shadow, then it's clearly Knuckles, right?
Nah.
Don't tell me it's Silver.
Oh, heck no.
Fang the Sniper?
Who?
Okay, it's Brevin. It's totally Brevin. It's so Brevin.
Oh, for the love of...
I am the ultimate overlord, Metal Sonic.
Oh.
Out of all the rival characters on this list, none of them can compare to this robotic doppelganger's rivalry with the Sonic the Hedgehog. Similar to Base, Metal Sonic was created to be better than Sonic.
Yeah. Better than Sonic every other way. Huge success. I've heard it a million times already. Tell me something new.
Hey, sure it's cliche, but this is still a crucial element that makes Metal Sonic such a great rival. Since he's designed to be better than Sonic, Metal has the exact same abilities and skills as Sonic, as well as some original techniques like the V Maximum Overdrive attack and the Black Shield, which is impenetrable. But his most dangerous skill is his ability to scan and copy techniques of other opponents. He proved his destructive power when he first encountered Sonic in Stardust Speedway. Sure, Metal put up a challenging fight, but ultimately it wasn't enough to stop Sonic. But Metal Sonic was programmed to pursue and eliminate Sonic at all costs. Needless to say, he would return for revenge.
But no matter the attempt, no matter how many times he returned, he would be defeated time and time again. This prompted Metal Sonic to take measures into his own hands. Which leads us to his role in Sonic Heroes, where he defied his creator, copied the data of all the teams, combined it together with the power of chaos, and became the Metal Overlord. All for one purpose, to finally defeat Sonic and rule the world. Dang! And to think, that still wasn't enough to prevail against Sonic.
Sometime after Metal Overlord's defeat, Metal Sonic is reprogrammed to obey Eggman once more. But guess what? Metal Sonic still somehow managed to defy Eggman, as seen in Sonic Freeriders. Freeriders. Where he disobeys Eggman again, just so he can defeat Sonic. When you've achieved defying your master twice just to take out your arch rival, you've acquired some extreme dedication to your motive.
With his skills that match his rival plus his own powers, and his insatiable lust to destroy his nemesis once and for all, even going so far as to take control of the situation himself just to achieve his goal, yeah, Metal Sonic couldn't be anything but number one. I'm Chaos Key 4013.
And I'm the Scarlet Sho. Yes! It's finally over! We can finally put this all behind us!
I'm glad too, but I want to know who exactly set us up on those Reaper games.
I do too, but the voice was so vague. I wonder if we'll ever find out who did it.
What, you people think I'm that predictable? I can't have people doing commentaries for my personal enjoyment all the time. I didn't know where the whole commentary thing would go or if I'd enjoy them as much as I did. So I decided to do this whole Reaper's game thing on these countdown makers as sort of a backup plan to shake things up. I would have finished this sooner, but, well, the appointments just kept piling up. At least no one's dead this time.